We're on again.
We're on. Back in the upstairs studio. We're looking very blue today.
Looking very blue.
Looking very Eiffel 65 up here in the Wormholes studio. And we are very excited to be joined all the way from Sydney by the man behind some fucking incredible vocals. We were literally just talking about it before we hit the record button. Mr. Matt Banks of Harroway. Thanks for jumping on,
Thanks for coming on, dude.
What's happening? Blue 42.
Let's go. There we go. Fuck.
Yeah.
That song's going to make a resurgence. Someone was saying that the other day. I think it was AJ, my brother, was saying, like, as soon as, like, that blue song gets put behind a TikTok and goes, like, viral with teenagers now, we're all fucked.
Well, wait, didn't they only semi-recently, like, kind of redo that melody? I've heard it somewhere recently.
Really? Someone stole the blue melody.
Someone stole the
and put it in
melody.
some shitty R&B fucking.
But they even
song.
did the same, like, lyrics, too.
Oh,
Not the whole way through, but the chorus was.
I have a blue house with a blue window.
Oh,
Anyway, we're sidetracked.
Anyway,
I'm on the fucking 6% VBs right now.
I was going to say, I thought it was a Victoria bit, but then I was like, do you
it's the new. It's the
No,
new
we don't really, but...
No, that's why I tried it. We normally shit on anything fucking Victorian.
Yeah.
But I do like things with lots of...
VBs are just fucking horrendous anyway.
Well, this 6%
that's okay.
not too bad. I'll give them their... Don't let any fucking Victorian hear us.
I know, right? Fucking
you know, it's Adelaide and Sydney right now, so no one from fucking Melbourne's probably listening. But if you are,
that's it.
I'll give you the 6%. I like high alcohol content.
What do you normally get around for drinks, Matt?
Yeah, what's the Sydney? There's no Sydney fucking mainstay beer, really, is there?
Foster's.
You know, Stagliato.
The fuck is that?
Yeah, what the fuck is that?
Negroni, Stagliato.
Oh, yeah, okay,
Negroni.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Nah,
okay.
I fucking hate Negronis.
Yeah.
The first time I tried one was with Ryan Shu from Polaris, and
Wow.
I vomited it
Oh,
up.
really? Didn't get around
moments
it.
after. I don't like them.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not like a huge drinker. Like, I don't not drink, but I don't drink very much. I'm like not super into beer. I'm more of I like Canadian clubs.
Yeah, CC's classic.
Love a cheeky cider on a hot day.
Yeah.
Ginger beers. I've been really fucking with
you
the
love
Brookvale
fucking
Union
ginger
ginger beers.
Yeah, so you're a CC and dry kind of guy. That's
100%.
Yeah.
Or if we're just going straight to cocktails, I'm getting a Long Island iced tea.
Yes.
I love it. So,
That's so lit.
Our casino here in Adelaide, like they've got this like chandelier bar where they do these fucking off their head Long Island iced teas. And if I'm ever in the city and someone like floats the idea of going to the Cass, I'm like immediately at that bar getting one of those fucking Long Islands because they fuck you up so much.
they go
and they just
heavy,
taste
dude.
so good.
There you go. Hard.
Yeah, that's what you want. Anyway, this is
Anyway.
not an alcoholics podcast.
That's all right.
But,
That's all right.
It's always good to get sideways a little bit. We obviously start all these pods when we've got a music guest right at the beginning. You're obviously a vocalist, but talk us through your, I guess, musical journey. Can you play an instrument? Did you play an instrument growing up? Where does Matt's musical journey begin in life?
It basically begins in year 5, when my older brother went to high school and started music class, and then was like, took my dad's guitar. Like, my dad had this, like, I think it was like a Mayo or something, like
Mayonnaise?
a Mayo, like it was a Gibson, a Les Paul body,
Yeah.
but it wasn't like a Gibson.
Okay.
And he took that to school and was like, came back home and was like, you're buying a bass and you're going to learn how to play bass. I was like, okay, cool.
So they started you on bass.
I started on bass.
Yeah, right.
And then it was an easy transition because it was just like, I learned bass. I went to like jazz studios in Campbelltown to learn. They taught me another one, Bites the Dust, and like
Classic.
all those kind of like standard whatever. Then my brother discovered LimeWire and we started listening to like, I think it was like Cannibal Corpse or like Cattle Decapitation or some
Straight
shit.
from another one bites the dust to Cannibal Corpse.
Fucking brutal shit. And
Yeah.
like Bleed the Sky, they've made a comeback. And like, just random metal bands that he was getting introduced to by his friends at school.
And Bill
then-
Clinton going, I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
And then, we just fucking went from there into like learning Trivium. Trivium became like
Oh,
the
fuck yeah,
band.
dude.
It was the band that got me into like transitioned me from like, you know, the Used and Blink 182 and all the like kind of like edgier like
Yeah.
Linkin Park, those early stages into actual heavy.
Yeah.
metal,
Everyone's
I
got
guess.
one of those bands, right? And it's
Yeah.
either Trivium, Bullet for My Valentine,
Yeah.
Atreyu, or Avenged Sevenfold.
Yeah. I
That's
know,
it.
Yeah, one
Yeah,
of them is in there.
there's basically. I feel like most people like either liked Trivium or liked Bullet. No one. I liked both, but
Yeah.
you definitely had a favorite between the two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then one of like my mates at school heard me doing like this a whisper scream thing, and then they were like, "Oh, bass can scream," and then I somehow transitioned into being the screamer because I was so deprived of attention as a child that any slight bit of attention from anybody I just jumped at. So the fact that I was now the cool kid who could scream, I was like, "Fuck yeah, I can scream! Yep, I
Yeah.
can do this for
Yeah.
sure." And then became the screamer for
Oh no.
every band ever in my high school because it was like I was the only kid who could do it, except one other dude, Douglas Mason, who could inhale scream. So
Oh, Inhale
he
is just a
also
dangerous,
took the
man.
reins. Yeah. Oh yeah, but no one knew anything about that shit back then. It was just like,
Yeah.
hey, we can make the noise with our mouth. Let's go.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's
you go on.
that's kind of the journey to like get into like screaming and all that kind of shit. I fucking sucked back in the day. Like when I was first starting out, I'd blow my voice out. I'd scream until like I couldn't fucking speak.
So
Yeah.
do you find that you're damaging yourself these days? Because we were literally just before sitting here saying that your maybe like mid to low scream, maybe or low, right? Sounds like CJ McMahon from Die Art Is Murder.
Oh, yeah. So I, after a while, it was when we were tracking Bloom in a Dark Room, because we went to the States for that.
Really?
And
Shit.
I had worked really hard on like trying to condition my chords and that so that I could get over there. I had heard how they kind of track things. Like I had got a lesson with CJ and he was like, yeah, when we were recording Hate, I had to do all the vocals over like 2 days.
Wow.
So like
No shit.
like 10 songs or something in 2 days. And he's like, I was vomiting
Oh, you would
and
be,
shit,
dude.
but like was just
Especially when you think
so
about how
and because we
insane
were
Hate
recording
is.
at the exact same place they were recording, I was mentally preparing for that kind of like workload.
Yeah.
And then I blew my voice out after like the first song we tracked, like
Ugh.
nailed it, but I was trying to learn how to pitch scream on the spot. And if you don't know what pitch
Yeah.
screams are, it's what I do in the chorus of Sleep.
Yep.
Yep.
So Final Letter, originally the chorus I wrote to have pitch screaming instead of singing. But like we did it, but at the cost of my chords being completely ruined by the next day. And then we ended up scrapping it anyway and singing
Oh,
over
fuck's sake.
Oh,
Really?
wow.
Shit.
Yeah, and then coming back from then, like once we got back to the States and like knowing I had to track the vocals back in Australia, I was like, nah, like never again is this going to happen to me. Like I refuse to let this, like I'm squashing this problem now. So I started getting lessons with Dave from Belhaven.
Okay.
And I've been getting lessons with him since we tracked that in end of 2015. So 2016, I started my lessons with Dave, and I've been doing them ever since. But
Wow.
there was a
right.
point there where we couldn't really figure out what I was doing wrong. So I ended up hitting up Melissa Cross, did 1 or 2 Skype lessons with her, and then flew back over to the States in 2000. I want to say 17, end of 2017. And did 3 lessons in person with her. And then something clicked. Like it's just the way she said something. Like it wasn't really too much different than what I was doing with Dave. It's just something clicked to make it all make sense.
Yeah, she's the GOAT, man. She really is.
She is like incredible. But and it was like so phenomenal working with her.
Was that purely the purpose of the trip as well, to go have the in-person
100%.
lessons?
I went over there and
so
just
sick.
fucking. I was like, because I was just so determined, like not to, because like I want to do this full time. I want to tour overseas. I want to do like I want to like be able to stop working and go tour. I know it's super unrealistic. Like it's a really long shot. Like I'm sure heaps of bands say that shit, but I don't know.
You just got to live it, man. You got to
but
try.
if you don't set that goal as your goal, then what are you doing it for? You know what I mean? There's no point
Exactly.
setting your goal
like,
I wouldn't mind 1,000 plays. Like, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
You're just setting yourself up for failure straight away. So
exactly, dream big.
But your hard work's paying off, my man, because seriously, you are a fucking talent on vocals. So we're not just saying that because we got to fucking fondle your balls because you're on the podcast, man. Like we try to be
we try and
as
be
honest
straight up.
and as subjective as possible. And
We've just been
Have
lucky.
you ever
that
told anyone that there's fucking shit?
Well, no, we've done a few reactions where people have asked us to do reactions, and like we haven't like shit canned anyone, but we've been honest about it. And then I feel bad.
You try and say it as encouragingly as possible that it wasn't somehow they need to improve.
Yeah,
constructive,
that's it, man.
It's constructive. Like try and be like, this was the thing we picked up with the mix or whatever it might be. But you feel bad, especially when someone reaches out. Like, we'd love to get your take on this, and then we give it a score at the end, and you're like, fuck. Like then when you're about to release it, you feel bad because like you want to send it to them to be like, hey, here you go. But then you're also like, here's some fucking feedback that you might.
The lowest score we've given
is like a 12.
Is actually it's 10.
Oh no, it is the Parkway.
And it was Parkway.
New Parkway Drive is the lowest score we've given.
Yeah, and that's the
real
lowest
dad
score.
rock.
Yeah, it is,
man. Unfortunately,
but did you guys make the trek over to Melbourne or Sydney to watch Knotfest?
Knotfest.
No, it looked fucking huge.
They fucking killed it.
Yeah,
I mean,
that
Brisbane, he blew his voice out, but fuck, they are an incredible band.
Oh, bro, yeah.
Well, look, they're still my favourite show of all time, which I've said on this podcast many times. Parkway's 10-year anniversary here in Adelaide back in 2013. They had Adrian Northlane and Crafter Confession as the support bands, and it's my favourite show I've ever seen in my life. And they were just wild. It was at a small venue here in SA called the Gov, and it was just mental. So like my son's name's Winston for a reason. Like I fucking love Parkway. So to give them
the lowest score
that low fucking hurts me, dude. But there's just there's just nothing.
You gotta be real.
What we love about like a lot of the smaller bands that we interview and we listen to the shit that they're doing, like people are trying to do shit that hasn't been heard before, hasn't been seen before, explore avenues and ways to make music that's different. And when you listen to these bands that were doing that in their heyday, just play it safe and release shit that doesn't feel innovative at all, that's why you get the scores that you get, really, or you get the thoughts that you get from people, man, because there's just nothing. You're not listening to the song and being like, oh, yeah, fuck
this isn't breaking cool. Any new ground.
You're just like,
or
I've heard
anything,
this 1,000 times in 1,000 ways before. So that's what you get, man. That's why it's exciting. It's a great time, though, for Australia, I think. We talk about this all the time, but coming out of the pandemic. There's just so much good shit coming in Australia right now. It's a wild time to be a fan of metal, for sure.
Yeah, 100%. Adelaide just needs to work on buying tickets.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, we don't buy pre-sales, my man. Look,
no.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm a bit dicey on this gig as well. I'm gonna have a newborn son that's about 2 weeks old for the show.
Yeah, just bring him.
I only haven't bought. Well, it's funny you say that, right? So, In Heart's Wake, doing their 10 years of divination tour. And that album is probably my partner's favourite album of all time. She fucking rinses it front to back. Her due date is April 30th. The gig is on the 5th of May. She made me buy her a ticket. She's like, I'm either fucking unless I'm in labor at the time of that show, I'm fucking going. Either your mum can fucking watch him for an hour. She's like, I'll buy her a hotel next to the uni bar so that I can leave for the hour set that I've got to watch of them, or I'm going to go there and bring on fucking, what's the word I'm looking for? Bring on labor by watching these motherfuckers. I'm not missing this shit. I'm like, all right.
Yeah,
all
with
right.
a pair of little baby earmuffs, so when it pops out, boom,
Yeah, just
Yeah,
bang
that's it.
straight away.
That'd be the fucking.
I'll take a wet floor sign just in
Yeah.
case the fucking water
That's
breaks.
it.
I'm like, that's dedication to a fucking album that you love. She's like, they're never going to play Divination in full again. So
Yeah, well, they're not.
I'm fucking going. I'm like, all right, I'll buy you a ticket.
100%.
But I said,
little fat lamb.
no, this is a, so there's
Big
a
Shed.
brewery here in Adelaide called Big Shed. This is a
Not gonna
golden
focus, is
stout
it?
time. It tastes like Golden Gate
not gonna
time.
focus,
It's
but-
fucking amazing.
Is it creamy?
It is a bit. It's kind of like,
Little bit.
yeah, a little bit. Bit stouty, bit creamy.
It's not as thick as what you'd expect. It's not like a
No.
it's not like a Guinness. It's
No,
not like
no.
Guinness.
Yeah,
Fuck that shit.
not a meal.
It's not a meal. Nah, it's not a meal, man.
So let's going back again to the beginning of it. Obviously, we know Harroway is where you are at right now. You said you were screaming through high school. Did you have bands before Harroway? Do you have some cringy band names from back in high school? Tell us a bit more about, I guess, that teenage through to now journey in bands.
Yeah, I was thinking about this today. So, like, the first band that I was in that had a name was with these kids from school who weren't, like, into metal. I think the heaviest person, the drummer at the time, the heaviest band he liked was, like, System of a Down.
Yeah, okay.
And for some reason, he was in charge of choosing the name, and it was, like, Mercury 5.
Mercury 5.
What the
Because
fuck?
Mercury, and his justification for it was like, yeah, so Mercury is like the heaviest metal.
Ah.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And what's 5 then?
There's 5 of us. So
Yeah,
Mercury 5.
okay. That
And
does
I
sound
was
a bit
like-
creedy, doesn't it? A bit.
But if you just
But,
went
you know,
Mercury,
I was so
that would have been
depraved for
fine.
attention that I was like,
Yeah,
yeah,
fuck it.
okay.
Mercury 5, fuck yeah.
And
you
then
went
there was like
Mercury
2
on
band
its own, it would have been
practices
pretty
and that
cool.
band was done.
Yeah. Mercury on its own would have been fine. As soon as you add the 5, it sounds like fucking...
Sounds like Maroon 5.
Sounds like
Maroon
Maroon 5,
5.
the Jackson 5, like anything 5, the boy band, like...
The one thing that we should have, like, you know, really picked up that it was a bad name was when we asked his mum and she was like, yeah, I love it.
Oh,
Yeah.
change it.
You can't get the ticket of approval from mum, can
No,
you?
that's
It's
not
gotta
for
be-
metal. Not for metal.
But yeah, that band lasted like two band practices and we were done.
Yeah.
And then it was just like high school bands and shit like that. I'm sure me and my brother had a band and I'm sure it had a name. I just can't remember it. And then we went to, in like year 12, year 11, me and my mate started a band with his cousin and friend called Upon Us All, which I got from the end of Hancock.
Oh, yeah.
And then that band like played a few shows at, you know, there was this old venue called Lucky Australian Tavern in St. Mary's where like it was like $15 entry or whatever, and like it was like a dingy strip club thing, but that had a huge back patio, like the outdoor area that had a stage and shit, and they would just throw on gigs.
That's so sick.
Like, it was so easy to book there. So it was just like, yep, cool. We'll play a show there. And I think we played there like fucking 15 times or some shit.
That's
Wow.
sick.
Fucking ridiculous.
That's killer.
Yeah, then that band fizzled out. Took a break from music for a little bit, like started an apprenticeship and all that kind of crap. And then the bassist from Harroway was in another band, and like we lived in the same area in Campbelltown. And then he was like, oh yeah, like we recorded at the same place that Upon Us All recorded, like check it out. And I was like, oh yeah, cool. And then he messaged me like 2 days later over Facebook being like, yeah, so our vocalist and guitarist are leaving. Did you want to come like try out for this band? I was like, yeah, cool. Like I'll come to a prac. I'm not really doing anything. Sure. And that was called something Days.
Days is pretty common.
Days
They
is very common.
love a good
They
band.
love a
it was
good day.
There was a 4-word band name too, with
Oh,
days in it.
yeah,
So, you know,
classic,
real,
classic.
real, fucking,
Probably Empires or something in there as well.
oh, probably.
We love a
Dream
good
for this day. That's what it was
Dream
called.
for this day.
There you go.
Yeah,
Dream in there as well.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
a big one.
Yep.
That's funny. It's
The
funny you
whole
mentioned
Dream
the whole
or Dreamer era.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned the whole the 4-word band name because like one of my first bands was called Before the Red Dawn,
Oh, fucking hell, dude.
and it's just like you go back and you're
Were
like,
you
"Ah,
just like a really big fan of the Red Shore?
yeah.
we actually were.
Oh, yeah, you were,
we
yeah.
actually were. Yeah. But we were like, oh fuck, we couldn't think of anything cool, and then we kind of looked into the meaning of like a Red Dawn, like before war, and we were like, all right, this is before the Red Dawn, like
Yeah.
the night before how you're like about to go to war. So we thought that was kind of cool, but.
I always love that. What's his name? Jared, not Jared Dines, the other one, the one that does all the parodies. Jared.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, but that song.
Alonge.
Yeah, Jared Alonge. Yeah.
Yeah.
That band that he made that did the Swimmer, which is the rip-off of the
Yeah.
thing, but the band Amidst the Graves Demons is
Yeah.
fucking always just something I was like, how do you like nail taking the piss out of every brand name in one
So
name?
well,
and Amidst
yeah.
the Graves Demons is about as fucking
So
good as
good.
it gets, man.
So tell us about Harroway then. So you guys started in 2019. It was your first single.
That's a great question. Yes, I think so. With Shine, I think we dropped Shine in 2000 at the end of 2019 in like December or something. We shot a music video with Third Eye Ben.
Oh yeah.
Fuck. And how does
And,
that? How
like-
does that whole band? How does the band come together? What's the story behind the? What's the origin story of Harroway?
So we were that Dream for This Day band became a band called Maybe I'll Live Forever, and then
4 names.
yeah, exactly. We started like we were pumping through tracks. Like we released a song called The Road Less Traveled, and it actually like got good traction on YouTube, and like we weren't really prepared with anything else. Like we weren't ready to play shows, we weren't anything. So then it got a bunch of traction like locally, and then we were like, fuck, we got to get back into the studio and like record an EP or something, just so we have like a full like set to play. So yeah, we smashed out an EP, went back to the studio, tracked all that shit, plodded along for a couple of years, and then we recorded a one-off single after that. And then we were like, we had mentioned to the producer we were working with that we were thinking about going to the States. Like we just wanted to, you know, really step it up to another level, like prove to any like record labels or booking agents that we were like really fucking committed to this. And yeah, we're like, oh, like, you know, we'd love to work with like Putney or someone.
Oh, wow, yeah,
And then we got hit up by Sonny later on saying, hey, like we've got this thing with Putney. Did you want to go over with us and, you know, we'll record an album? And we're like, fuck, all right, yeah, let's do it. So then we spent like like basically all of 2014 to 15 writing, getting ready, and then, or maybe it was like, you know, end of 2014 to like up until like the night before, like we were writing as we like before we were heading into the studio in the States. And yeah, we went over there, we tracked. The singer / drummer just went MIA on us.
Real.
The band just started like falling apart, just cracking under pressure. But like we were still so committed to it. And then we were like, fuck it. I was like, maybe I'll Live Forever is kind of done. Like the vocals are too associated, like the brand or band name is too associated with the old singer, like Clean Singer. We need to like, you know, we're going to need to cut that Ty start again, and then we were like, all right, Harroway.
Okay.
Like came up, did the whole like trying to figure out a new name type thing. And then yeah, just started working on that, put together a whole thing. We had like an entire album, but we also didn't want to drop like an album straight away. So we were like, let's release it as a mixtape, because we knew our sound was probably going to change from that anyway.
Yeah.
So we were like, all right, like we'll do this as a mixtape. We'll try and drip feed and like all that kind of stuff. It took like 2 years to get to like the point of releasing Shine.
Okay.
But yeah, we got there in the end, and then we released Shine. We played our first show, and then COVID hit in like late 2020. I think that was like the first wave.
Yeah, it was in
Early
2020.
2020.
But
Yeah.
we
March
had
2020.
we had like all this content, like songs, like 2 more music videos to release and a whole fucking mixtape. So we were like, all right, well, we're just going to keep releasing shit because no one else is releasing anything.
Yeah.
Did that. The first wave of COVID restrictions started to ease. We could tell some of the members were getting a bit flaky. Just like, been beaten down too much by life, basically.
Yeah.
Trying to be in a band, it's pretty standard. And then, yeah, I had the foresight to kind of like know that they were going to leave. They eventually were like, yeah, I'm leaving. And then we had our release show as like their last show. But then I was like, one of the guys who came over to the States with us to help us track, because we were down a guitarist and all that kind of stuff. This is a really long story. I'm sorry.
No, that's all right, bro.
No, go for it, bro.
Yeah,
That's what
get
we're
it
here
out,
for.
man. For sure. We want to hear it.
Yeah. And then we recruited him and convinced him to join the band. And then we tracked Sleep and Parasite days before our Bloom in a Dark Room release show that we sold out
Yeah.
in Sydney. Played that, recorded, like had Sleep in that recorded. And then the second wave of COVID hit and we couldn't do anything. So we were like, okay. But luckily we'd already gone to the studio and recorded everything. Then once the restrictions started easing, like towards the end of the year, we could shoot the music video for Sleep, because we were allowed to have a certain amount of people in one room. And yeah, it just all kind of like worked out perfectly that we had enough time between Bloom in a Dark Room being released and Sleep coming out to let the member change kind of just happen. Like,
Yeah.
again, like Harroway was still a very new band, so people weren't super attached to members or anything like that.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it was really easy transition. And then, yeah, Sleep dropped and it fucking blew up. And then, yeah, we just started, we were like, fuck this. Like, we're not slowing down. Like, there's no fucking brakes on this fucking van. We're
Yeah.
just fucking driving 180 kilometers,
Fuck yeah.
just logging it. So we just toured and like we just played I think we played like 26, 28 shows last year,
Fucking hell. That's a few
which
shows.
is wild if you think about it, considering we can only really play on weekends.
Yeah. Hey,
Like,
dude.
that's
That's
like
like every
every
second
weekend.
weekend, man. You're doing it. Yeah.
Well, we caught
So-
a bit of you down here in Adelaide with Patient 67. We were we were trying to fucking squeeze into the little fucking
Yeah. Yeah.
cranker there to cash, but there was like, we almost couldn't get in the fucking door to see anything, but we did see a bit of you here, and that was
Still my
dope.
favorite fucking show. Like,
Yeah?
Oh, of course, yeah.
It was fucking, the energy in that room was nuts.
Yeah.
I love that room, dude. That
Yeah,
room has a
it's
very
fucking
special
good.
place in my heart because I've done about 1,000 fucking comedy shows on that stage. But yeah, we could barely get in to actually see any fucking band, but we did catch a bit of you, and Yeah, it was mental, dude. So that was killer for you guys to be able to do that many shows in quick succession.
Yeah, and like people actually started to give a shit about us, and that was like I think that was the most wild thing. Like people cared, and like yeah, because like you're doing this shit, you never know. Like it'd be the same with you guys. Like you're putting something out there, you don't really know. Once it's out there, it's out of your hands. Like you can do what you can to promote it and all that kind of stuff, but at the end of the day, like if people like it, they like it and they run with it, and if they don't, they don't. Like, there's nothing really you can do.
Yeah. So that kind of brings us, I guess, now to where we are today, on the edge of releasing your, well, I guess technically it's your second album. Was it an album or an EP, this one coming up?
This one's an EP, so we've been like marketing it as a debut EP.
Yeah. Because we've had a listen, man, and I tell you what, there's one, especially one in particular. We won't drop any. We will try and keep it a little bit under wraps, like we said. But
when's this coming out?
This will be out before.
This will be out before.
This will be out. So I think maybe in a week and a half, maybe. So you'll have about 2 weeks after this episode before the album, before the EP drops.
Okay, give them a little sneak peek.
Give him a little sneak peek, yeah.
Give him a little sneak. Well, what was your favourite then?
Yeah, I've forgotten the fucking name. I know it's got Burn in the title. Is it Burn It All?
Burn It All.
Burn It All. Yeah,
bro.
Yeah, I think Impulse is my favourite.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And then the hold on, let me just fucking the last track that goes for fucking an exuberant amount of time as well?
Yeah, it's like a 5.5 minute long song or something.
I was in the gym just like fucking ready just to donkey kick every fucking flog around me in the gym.
Yeah.
Very good, man.
I think that last song is my favorite song because like it's really personal.
Okay.
For me. So
all right. Tell us about that then. Tell us about that.
Well, so like all right, so the last song on the EP is Once More. And so the kind of story with this EP is so me and our guitarist Jem both have BPD. Jem writes most of the like pretty much all the guitars, like all the music side of things, and then we both collab on the vocals because I'm dyslexic and am stupid. But I can write and like put things together, and like just from years of writing lyrics, like I can write, but he's better at English, so that we kind of work together to like
make it work,
make things more articulate.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But for the most part of like Once More, that's all me. Like except for my favorite line, which is Gem, which is the part at the end that goes, "They came in forms of incandescent lights, a distant memory masquerading as a shimmering sunrise. Behold the burden as it lays at your feet. I purge the poison from the soil just to swallow the seed." He wrote that, and I was like, "Holy fuck, that's such a fucking good line."
Yeah.
It's basically it's the ending. We called it Once More because of it's named after the movie with Liam Neeson, Into the Fray, I think, or Into the Grey. And it's just basically like every day with BPD is basically a fight. And it for a long time, for both of us, it was a really big battle of like, you know, waking up, having to go through, like, because for a long time, we had no idea what the fuck was wrong with us. We were just so mentally unstable like just couldn't function really. Like some days we're having like manic episodes and panic attacks and shit like that. And like other days we were fucking high as a kite, just couldn't fucking, you never knew what was coming. And those low days sucked and was really a fucking struggle. And it just felt like you were going into a battle again. So that last, but so the EP is called I Don't Want to Be Here Anymore. We wrote it as that, like we called it that because we knew it had like a double meaning, because it's like the sense of not wanting to be here anymore is in like you don't want to be here anymore.
Yeah.
But for us, it was we don't want to be in this place anymore where we are struggling to live, like get up every day and like just exist. Like it's, we don't want to be here. We want to do like we're trying to improve our lives. We're trying to like just be better, learn to live and thrive with, you know, the circumstances that we've been dealt with this mental illness, and, you know, just fucking, you know, really make something of this life.
Yeah, man, that's cool.
So that's that last song kind of concludes the whole message of the EP of like, okay, we're going into this battle again, but, you know, we're going to come out on the other side. Kind of deal.
Yeah, that's cool, man.
That's amazing.
I really like that you've kind of got that double meaning, because you could look at it and be like, oh, that's, you know, a depression or an anxiety kind of title, you know, but then the way you're kind of framing it and the way you're framing it through the lyrics, it sounds is going to be like, this isn't a defeat, this is going to be a victory almost.
Yeah.
Well, you know, the next chapter
Yeah,
will
exactly,
be about the victory.
Yeah.
And that's exactly right. You know, you don't want to be in this, that, you know, sense of hopelessness. You don't want to be in that feeling anymore. You don't want to be in that. And it's not, I don't want to just be here, you know, physically. I want to actually be in a place where I can go, like, I've made progress towards a point. And, you know, we're massive advocates for the mental health side. And it's amazing how much we never knew that the band interviews or whatever was going to tie into something that we were so passionate about. But, you know, hearing that story and hearing you be like, you know, we had no idea what was going on with us, and now we're both like diagnosed, and we feed off each other and help each other through that shit. That's amazing. And it's so good that you've got something to work on together and can support each other through navigating something that would be super, super fucking challenging to deal with all the time, man. So it's just great to hear that you're in a place where that is the feeling that you have.
Yeah.
And then you're channeling that into the music as well.
Yeah, and BPD itself is one of those things, like, I've dealt with that when someone close to me has had that or has that, and it's not an easy thing. So I can only imagine for you to go through that polarity. What I kind of realized was that polarity where one day you're feeling like, oh my God, like I love everything, this is so good. And then the next day, just like that, it'll turn around and you'll be at the complete low. And I can't imagine that kind of like up and down would be quite difficult.
Especially for two members of the band.
Honestly.
Yeah.
And yeah, it is. It's like I've had mental breakdowns over nothing, like just bawl my eyes out for no reason, stay in bed for like, have to like drag myself out of bed in the morning to get to work to like try and function. I'm like, I was always like a high functioning kind of sufferer, I guess, because like I, you know, would have to pull it together to go to work and do my job, but then come home and go to sleep, like couldn't function. Like it just drained me so much to like
push through,
get through the day.
Yeah.
And yeah, but like, yeah, medicated, go to therapy, sort of like have sorted or attempting to still sort my shit out. Life is definitely a lot better, but yeah, the EP is definitely a reflection on that stage.
Yeah. Man.
Of
It'd be hard as well having a bandmate and a friend that's going through it, and you wouldn't exactly be at the same, you know what I mean? Like you would have days where you're manic and they're, you know, really low, and you know, days where you're definitely like at complete opposite ends of that spectrum as well, and having to balance that and like recognize, you know, that he's going through something when you're going through something else, and try and, you know, meet in the middle would be really tough as well.
Yeah, well, me and Jem have a very honest relationship with each other where like we can just kind of like, you know, are very open about what's going on and how we feel and all that kind of stuff. And sometimes it comes across brutal, sometimes it's like, you know, we're very understanding, but you know, I love that dude. He's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Like,
and he writes sick
one
riffs.
of the most talented fucking music composers, like not just like that dude is like the embodiment of a musician. So
Yeah. That's cool, man. That's cool.
It's a good man to have in your band.
So we've touched on the past. We've touched on where we're the present, I guess. What do you want for the future of Harroway then? Where do you see Harroway or yourself in, let's say, 5 years?
You got a tour starting in exactly, I think, what, 2 weeks today? 2 weeks today, is it?
Yeah, so on the we kick off in Adelaide on the 19th of
Yep.
May.
Yeah.
So yeah, what's today? I don't know. What's
The 5th.
The 5th. So,
so
it's-
yeah, about a month,
basically 2
something
weeks,
like that.
Yep.
Yeah,
About a month. 2 weeks, mate. You got 19th
Oh,
is
May.
only 14th.
Of May.
Oh, of May.
Of
Oh,
May,
yeah.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Jesus.
May. Fuck.
He's all frazzled.
I
I'm
hope
all
it's not in
frazzled.
2 weeks. I'm
Yeah.
nowhere near ready.
Yeah, a month and 2 weeks. 6 weeks.
The whole having a kid has got him fucking
Yeah, I'm
sideways.
fucking all over the
He's-
place, mate.
Yeah. No, it's all coming together. Yeah, I've got a fucking. I went to the point of like making a vision board to put on my wall to like, I don't know. I listened to a 50 Cent fucking audiobook and he
Yeah,
was
killer.
talking about it. So I was like, fuck it. I'm just going to do it. So like, I've got like a Harroway World Tour poster on there.
Nice, that's
I've
sick.
got fucking Linkin Park, Bring Me the Horizon, Amity playing to fucking stadiums. I've got
Yeah.
fucking, yeah, like tour, like plane photo window, like thingies, whole bunch of shit. But 5 years, I definitely want to be overseas. I want to
Yeah.
be touring like internationally, all that kind of stuff. And like, I'm willing to fucking put in like the time, effort, and you know, like we're one of those, not necessarily a rare case, but we're such a DIY band in the sense that like I book those 26 shows that we played last year, I booked almost all of them. Like
Yeah.
Wow.
other than the Patient Tour and one of the festivals, I booked pretty much every single. I booked and put on
Yeah.
most of those shows. Like
Yeah.
it wasn't like I'm not waiting around for someone to decide that we're good enough to put on a bill. Like I don't care whether like you like us or not. I'm going to make sure that you know who Harroway is because we're fucking everywhere.
Yeah.
Like, so yeah. And like all that, like pretty much all of our marketing is DIY. Like I learned how to do that shit. I learned how to manage a band. I learned how to book shows and put on shows and all that kind of shit and just went with it. And yeah, we're fucking I booked the entire tour except for Darwin because that's Tim from Terrorfest, but Terror
which is-
Loud. Sorry.
That show is wild as well. That fucking show
Yeah.
with Make Them Suffer and that up there and in Darwin is going to be massive.
Yeah, I was like, we saw that they were doing something. So I was like, reached out to him and was like, can Harroway jump on this? I didn't even know who was on the lineup. I was just like, fuck it. Like,
Yeah, give it a crack.
when I play Darwin and I knew the festival he put on last year was like Alpha Wolf, Diamond Construct, and Loon. I was like, he's not going to downsize from that. Like, it's going to be
Yeah.
a fucking sick festival. I'm
Yeah.
like, there's no better time to play Darwin
Yeah.
than
Yeah.
play on one of these lineups. So I was like, put us on. I don't care. Like, you don't have to pay us. I don't like, just put us on the show.
Yeah.
He's like, fuck yeah, let's go.
That's sick.
And then I was like, so who's actually on the bill? And then he was like, oh, Make Them Suffer. I was like,
You're like,
fucking
holy
hell.
Shit.
Yeah, killer.
So was stoked with that.
Have
but
you been
yeah.
to Darwin before?
No.
Nah, this will be the first time.
Yep.
That's gonna be cool, man. New audience.
100%. Like,
Yeah.
On such a
we've been
massive
thinking
lineup as
about
well.
Darwin for a long time. Like because we just use the band as a means to travel, essentially. It's just kind of like, where do we want to go? Let's go here and play a show. Like, so like we want to go to Darwin, we want to go to Tassie, we want to go to Perth, like all those places that are you know, you can't justify going when you're a bigger band because of the cost and like whatever. You're looking at it as more of a business venture than, you know, growing.
Yeah.
Right now, while we don't have like a huge crew to bring with us or anything, and we're just doing it on our own backs, fuck it, why not like go? We're more than happy to go fork out the costs just to experience playing in Tasmania and Darwin. So
yeah, exactly,
yeah,
man. Yeah, yeah. Be a wild ass show.
Yeah, that's going to be mental. And I'm hoping I'm going to do everything I can to get down to see you in Adelaide on May 19th. It's actually the week of my birthday, so there's a good excuse to
that'll
get
be
out
sick,
and have
man. That'll be fucking
few
sick.
beeries. So I'll tell the missus, like, look,
Yeah, look,
you'll be
it's gonna have
busy
to go,
for 2
yeah.
hours. Fucking stay home. I'm going.
We'll just bring him with.
I'm going to see the boys. Put a little earmuffs on his fucking tiny
Yeah.
100%.
handball
But
it
yeah,
into
no,
the mosh and see what
that
happens.
show is going to be sick. I'm so keen for that. Like obviously it's our first time headlining down there, so I was like, oh, I want to put on something special. I know Adelaide's a little trickier to get people to come out to shows or like at least buy enough pre-sales to know the show's going to go good.
Yeah, that's the thing, man. Yeah.
But so I was like, fuck it, I'll put on like a little mini fest essentially. And like, you know, we're bringing the 2319 boys on the road with us. That people were like, fuck, 2319 at back.
Yeah.
And it's funny, so their
then
vocalist is then now in another band you've got on the bill.
Catalyst. So is he vocals for both bands?
No. So I don't
So
know.
the old
he's-
vocalist is now the vocalist for Catalyst, and 2319 have a new vocalist.
Correct. So I think he's going to jump. I was messaging because he wants to come on the pod soon as well, old Nathan, and he is going to jump on and do some guesties probably for 2319 at that show. But yeah, he's only just joined Catalyst as well. So it's funny. So I saw Loon and Relica were here like a month ago, and Catalyst had their old vocalist. And then Loon was back with Sedative and Within Destruction like 3 weeks ago. And then I saw like Nathan, who I've known from heaps of other Adelaide bands, like screaming for Catalyst. And I was like, wait a second, I swear I just fucking saw you dudes like 2 weeks ago. And he's like, yeah, I've just joined like this week and jumped on this show. And then, yeah, we were talking about, obviously, the show that he's got coming up for you guys. So it's a mental lineup, bro. 2319 are huge. I've always loved their sound. I've seen them heaps of times in Adelaide. And, yeah, Nathan now screaming for Catalyst. He's a wild fucking frontman as well. So you've got a very good lineup worth of people worth coming out to see. So hopefully the pre-sales is no indication of what the turnout will actually be.
Pre-sales are going like better than I thought they would.
Oh, that's good then.
I'm happy with them. Like knowing what I know about Adelaide's turnout thing.
It's always just like everyone just rocks up on the night. That's just how it is here. Even we're like that sometimes, man. Like,
yeah,
honestly.
dude. Yeah, I buy tickets at the door all the fucking time.
Yeah,
I'm just
all
a
the
fucking
time.
Lazy piece of shit.
Yeah.
I really want to develop that whole speed, like that hardcore community where they can just like. It started like I feel like it kind of started with speed, but now it's like kind of grown into a lot of the other like slam bands and everyone who kind of associates with that hardcore scene where they're like, oh, if you're just listening to it over the internet and you're not coming to the shows, like you're not hardcore, like you're not really about it. Like the shows, like coming to the shows and supporting the scene and growing the scene, that's what makes you like really hardcore. That's like that kind of thing. And I want to try and bring that over to that kind of mentality over to the metalcore scene because, you know, like, yeah, I mean, they're different scenes, but it's all under the same umbrella, like, you know.
Yeah. One big
Just
thing that I've
sport.
noticed is like basically almost because of coronavirus though has been that like the whole lack of it for 2 or so years, so many more people are like, I just want to fucking get out and go see this. I just want to get out and go. There's so many more people that are just like actually getting out and going now as well.
Yeah. It's cool, but it's also like everything got flooded with shows.
Yeah.
Like there's so many things. I was fucking stressing the entire time being like, oh, we're going to clash with someone. There's going to be some fucking massive show come up that's going to clash with like they'll be playing the exact same cities the entire time like this tour is on, and it's going to fuck us completely.
Yeah.
But everyone missed it. Like we miss Thornhill. Thornhill's tour starts like halfway through ours and like starts in Darwin.
Yep.
And in Tasmania. Make Them Suffers starts like opposite, kind of like it just didn't clash, which is fucking awesome.
That's good, yeah.
And then I can't remember someone else, but yeah, I was stressed out about that. I was like, Amity, you're going to bring out a tour soon, and I bet it's going to be exactly where we're having our tour. It's going to be
Yeah.
fucked. But no, we missed everything. Everything's like nothing's classing. So I know nothing's on that night. So you cunts out there come to the fucking shows.
Yeah. We got.
I've been sharing the flyer.
Yeah.
I've been trying to put in the work as well as a side promoter to help you guys. So I'll keep
silent promoter. So I appreciate it.
Promoter,
It's like we don't really have any we've got Will who books Unibar. He's and does Dropout Fest. He's also when I was told him about the show, and he was like, "Fuck, I'm putting on a show that same day with Vex, and another Adelaide band." And then he was like, "What about you just put Vex on your show, and then, we'll just scrap that show and I'll just promote your show." And I was like, yeah, I'm cool with that. I'd rather not have another show on the same night.
Yeah.
We kind of merged the two shows together, and that's what made the kind of like mini festival thing.
Sick.
That's what happened with Relica and Loon as
people
well.
were like, fuck, that's a big lineup. And they're like, as long as you can fit it between 7 o'clock and 12:30, go for it.
Done. Absolutely, we can.
Yeah.
Mate, I got to fucking piss quickly, or I'm literally going to actually pass out. It's so bad. I'll be back in 1 second. Keep talking.
Oh god. So we'll
normally that's me.
We'll continue anyway, bro. So basically, you were saying, all right, in 5 years' time, you want to be able to be touring overseas. Now, were you thinking more of going towards Europe or going towards the US? What were you thinking?
According to our Spotify streams, we are really big in the US.
Yeah. Okay.
I would like to thank Hardcore Keem
And he's a legend, man. He's so cool.
Orion and everyone else who's fucking promoters out there, Brendan Breakdown. Yeah, we're like our international audience has grown dramatically. Like we're still our biggest cities are still Australia.
Yeah.
It's like Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane.
Yep.
But yeah, our international audience has grown fucking ridiculous. Like I think we're at today we're at 22,000 monthly listeners or something.
Fantastic. Yeah, that's good.
So
man.
that's fucking out of the water.
Yeah.
But, yeah. So we'd probably hit this. But then just so we can tour, I'd be so keen to do an Asian run.
Yeah, I've heard wild shit about Asia. One of my friends actually went on tour. He did sound for a night in Texas, and they did an Asian tour, and he reckons it was wild. Like one of the shows in China went the fuck off. They played a festival in China with all the other deathcore bands, and it was just absolutely lit, man.
Fuck yeah.
Who was it as well? We had Scott from Amicia. And his last band went
Indonesia.
Did Bali in Indonesia, and he said that was some of the wildest shit he's ever been a part of.
Yeah, I've been talking to a couple Asia promoters, and I don't know how I'm going to go about it, but I'm going to be put us on.
Yeah,
send us on a tour.
Dude. Yeah,
we want to go.
And it'd be sick just to get over those places anyway, because places like Japan and stuff like that, it would just be so cool to visit anyway.
Yeah, 100%. And even New Zealand, just easily accessible international tours. Because it's honestly it's the biggest killer for America and Europe is the flight cost. It's so fucking expensive,
Yeah,
man.
bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you've got to pay for extra luggage as well to lug it all out, like your gear over there. Like we're lucky in the sense we run digital because we have set ourselves up to, if that opportunity ever comes up, like sooner than we expected, we're ready to go.
Yeah. And these days with hardware units like, your Axe Effects or your Quad Cortex or all that kind of stuff, it's just so easy to have a consistent tone across. And you just bring in something that's this big, you know what I mean? So you don't really
it's only an issue when you play a venue that's fucking doesn't have a very good sound PA system.
Yeah.
But if you can find out about the venue in advance, you can always tee up to have some cabs brought there and just run it through cabs and shit.
If you have to, for sure. Well,
but hopefully, America, Europe, will be on the books at some point.
That'd be killer.
Well, you guys have got the talent for it. I think I'm very excited to see what's next in the Harroway chapter. And as I said, I'm going to be doing everything to come down and fucking donkey kick someone in a month and 2 weeks.
Not 2 weeks.
I'm going to rock up in 2 weeks if I can crank it like, let's go.
Where's the fucking band?
I reckon it's time for a segment that we've fucking neglected for a few weeks.
We've neglected
now.
it.
I think we'll
Song of the week.
Song of the week.
Song of the week.
So this is a segment we forget about every fucking 2 episodes. But what is a song that you've just been absolutely thrashing for the last week or so? Can you think?
Well,
of one?
I've been listening to so many fucking podcasts.
Oh,
okay.
Pod of the
Never
week.
had a
Maybe
pod of the week before.
New segment, Pod of the week.
What we did on the weekend. I've been trying to catch up with the local scene.
Yeah.
What's going on in the scene?
Yep.
Probably fucking Current's new single.
Oh, fuck yeah, dude.
Go Alone.
That's a
Yeah,
banger.
yeah. They're so good, hey. I've been a massive Currents fan for years now, eh?
That I'm so keen for this album to drop. I reckon it's
Yep.
going to be fucking incredible.
I think so,
Like, I
too.
don't know how you could top the last one, but fuck me.
Just every
They-
album
they're
they've released,
just
man.
Such a good band.
Yeah.
Goes all the way back to Hanging by a Thread.
Yeah,
for us as
Hanging
well.
by a
It's
Thread
the
is a
sludgiest bass of all
classic.
time.
Yeah.
In Hanging by a Thread. We fucking love that song.
Yeah. Yeah. Have you got a song of the week then, my man?
I do have a song of the week. It's the one I sent you the other day even though there's 2 bands by a very similar name, but this is the European version, Alt, A-double-L-T.
Yeah.
The song Emanate that I sent
Yeah.
you the guitar playthrough as well. Something about that fucking band, man. It was,
Yeah.
and it was Josh from Sugar Spine who was talking about. I think he saw them over when he was living in the Netherlands.
Yeah.
And I hadn't actually checked them out. Then they just popped up randomly on the radio of another band, and I was like, "These guys are fucking
Yeah.
sick."
They're huge, eh? I think Paralyzed was the first one I heard by them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing. So yeah, fucking shout out to old
Shout out to
European
Alt.
Alt, not Adelaide
Yeah.
Alt. Sorry, Adelaide Alt. We love you too. That's my song of the week. How about you, my man? What have you been thrashing?
So I'm going to give mine this week to a band called Archetypes Collide. They've released a self-titled album, and there's one on there called Counterfeit.
I've never heard of them.
And
Archetype Collide.
yeah, I've been a fan of them for a while now, but they've only just been dropping singles, and now they've finally gotten out there and delivered a full length. And this Counterfeit one wasn't actually dropped as a single.
Yeah.
And then I listened to it front to back, and you know how you're sitting there listening, you're like, ooh,
Yeah.
ooh, like just that something just stands the fuck out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was this one for me. So yeah, Counterfeit by Archetypes Collide for me.
Fuck yeah. I love how
That
the next.
stank face moment.
Yeah,
I love
bro.
them.
Just
They're so
driving
good.
along like, oh, what the fuck is this?
That's what happened in Burn It. Fuck, I keep forgetting. Is it Burn It All? Burn It Down?
Burn it all.
Burn It All, yeah.
there we go.
That middle breakdown.
Oh,
Yeah,
right, that's
yeah,
what
yeah.
got me. In the,
Filth,
again, in the
bro.
gym, I was like, I'll literally murder everyone. Right
Yeah,
now.
he messaged me. He was literally like, bro, you need to listen to it right now.
Yeah. Yeah, love that shit. All right, well, that's the recurring segment. But let's get into our final segment that we have
Yeah.
for every guest, the questions, a set of questions that we ask every guest that comes on. With question number 1, keeping the theme of music, what is your favorite song of all time?
Fuck.
Always love that reaction.
We always say to everyone, if you can't think of one,
us
right,
your top
give
three.
us your top 3.
because in my head I'm like, it's number one's got to be a Trivium song, 100%.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of which song to give it to is a real question.
Yeah. There's so many good ones.
My favorite
Definitely-
Trivium is From
see-
Ember to Inferno.
Yeah, that's a good song.
Yeah, well,
awesome.
that's the thing. It's so the Trivium song that got me into metal was Requiem
Okay. Yeah.
because of that in the bridge part where it's like they slow it down, do 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 do, and then it goes into that fast like tremolo bit. Fuck, and like the super speeds up and
Yeah.
it just gets me. But
So good.
when you start comparing that to Ascendancy
Yeah.
and fucking, I would say Pull Harder, but I'm going to go with
Yeah.
Suffocating Sight because I
Okay.
fucking throw off that song.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I was going to
Suffocating
say,
Sight by Trivium.
yeah, that one's good, but I was going to say, I reckon Pull Harder is my favorite.
Yeah.
By Trivium. Yeah.
That is a fucking
I think I
banger.
just
one's good.
played Pull Harder too many times in
yeah,
high school.
you've saturated it, yeah.
It's just that and Smoke 'Em If You Got 'Em. Just
Oh, yeah.
way too many times.
Classic. Yeah.
Not many songs start as fucking hard as Smoke 'Em If You Got 'Em. If you're
Nah,
trying to scare someone
yeah.
away from listening to... That's not a song you get someone like that's like on the cusp of like trying to listen to heavier stuff. You're like, oh, here you
Yeah,
go.
no.
Bang, Smoke 'Em If You Got 'Em. That's someone who's
Yeah.
already in the fucking
Yeah, who's already
trenches
in the
of
fray.
loving metal.
Yeah.
Then you go Smoke 'Em If You Got 'Em.
Kind of like Krugerbanger by Chelsea.
Oh,
Chelsea
bro.
Green. Like, you can't just give someone that off the bat.
No,
Like,
that song is
you gotta ease them in.
fucking mental. All right, hit him with question number 2.
Killer. All right, question number 2, Matt. Who is your favorite comedian and or comedic actor?
Ooh. This is hard because I have so many favorite comedians. I'm going to go Bill Burr.
Yeah,
Bill Burr,
nice.
yeah,
He's
that's a
so
good
good,
one.
dude. He's just a fucking.
It's like, it was like a toss up between him, Tom Segura, and Dave Chappelle.
Yeah.
I'm so excited for Tom Segura's new fucking hour that's coming out soon, man.
I bought tickets to
His recent...
one of his Sydney shows.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, I was like, oh, there's definitely going to be an opening person. Like, the show's not going to start when it's like, he's not going to be on when the show starts.
Oh, don't
So
tell me
me
you
and my
missed it.
missus went and got dumplings, like sat down at a restaurant.
Yeah.
We got in 15 minutes before it finished.
Oh,
I was so pissed.
Oh,
Bro.
dude. And they were not cheap tickets.
No. But, you know, you win some, you lose some. It'll go out
Yeah.
on Netflix.
You
At
better
least
hope the
now,
dumplings are
at
good.
least you get to see this, like the special fucking, you know,
That's
raw. But yeah, I one of my mates that I do comedy with, he was in the States and got to see him at the Comedy Lounge in LA. Got to see his full hour and was like, that was the wildest thing I've ever seen in all my time watching comedy. And I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm excited.
Fuck.
So yeah,
I want to start getting into comedy more, like going to comedy cellars and shit
Yeah,
in Australia.
Comedy, little comedy shows. Like, I've gone to so many with him.
Yeah.
Right, I'd go watch him, and like I was never much into. I'd go to the occasional Fringe show, but they're actually wild, dude.
Yeah, they're
they're
so
actually
much fun,
so
man.
fun, man.
Do you get any hecklers?
Yeah, I've had plenty, man. I've had people like vomiting over themselves in the front. I've had people like vaping and blowing smoke at me, like sitting in the front row.
That's just, they're helping you out, mate.
That's it.
It's effect. It's dry ice.
Yeah.
Dutching him
I've
out.
had girls abusing me. I accidentally told a pregnant woman I was going to fuck her with scissors because she was heckling me. I didn't realize she was pregnant. And I said I'd fuck her with scissors. And then she came up to me after the show and like, she was like, oh, good show. And I recognized it was the same voice as the heckler. And I was like, I am so sorry. She's like, no, I shouldn't have yelled out. I'm like, yeah, you fucking shouldn't have. But yeah, I've dealt with it all, man. You get some fun. Not too much. Like the thing that I don't like, the most frustrating thing for me is like people that just talk, but they're not. I'd rather be heckled. I can deal with a heckler.
Yeah.
I
Well,
can't
you can
deal
give
with
it back and like make a comedic
Correct,
segment
yeah.
out of it.
if
But
they're
a bunch of
fucking
bitches in the back of the
chatting-
audience, like having a conversation amongst themselves when you're trying
Yeah,
to do
that's
comedy,
fucking disrespectful.
and you can't like. It's so like when you start singling that out and trying to attack them, you just look insecure. So you've got to kind of like just either pretend it's not happening, but everyone else knows it's happening. It's just such a. I hate that. That's my most frustrating thing. I'd rather be heckled. I'd rather someone be like, "You're fucking shit," and I can just annihilate that human being, as
Yeah.
opposed to like having to address the fucking elephant in the room, which is just a bunch of people
Yo,
having a
can you
conversation.
shut the fuck up?
Yeah, legit, dude.
Like some shows I'll do as well. Like they'll be at like a local show. Will be at like they'll do it in a front bar of a pub, but like it's not a separate part. So like people are still in the front bar trying to be in a front bar, and you're doing comedy. So it's kind of like, well, they're not there to watch you. They're just there to drink piss. So I'm expecting their attention, and it's like, so I try to avoid doing them now where I can. But yeah, I've done some shockers, man. But if I can tell you, get out to more just local comedy shows, and you'll be like, fuck, because there'll be a lot of people that are just grinding, trying to like make their way in the scene, and you'll see some of the best things you've ever seen from just some dude you've never heard the name of before.
Yeah. Oh, sick.
Definitely worth the time.
There you go.
Should we hit him with question
Number three, absolutely. What have you meditated before? What's your experience with meditation, if you have?
Yeah. I grew up doing martial arts and shit, and it was always a part of martial arts. So
Yeah. What did you?
yeah,
what did
I've
you do?
meditated. I'm fucking like ADD. I can't
Yeah.
fucking stay focused long enough.
What
But
martial
yeah,
art
no,
did you do?
it's good. Huh?
What martial arts?
So I started with like kung fu,
Yep.
and then moved into Muay Thai.
Yeah, okay. Still do that now then?
Not since I moved closer to Sydney, because when I was out in Campbelltown, I was training.
Yeah.
And like went into it with like the mindset of fucking being a UFC fighter. Or
Oh,
something.
really?
Same mindset
Yeah.
you got
Same
down at
mind.
Harroway.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then it was like one or the other, and I couldn't like Harroway wins every time.
Yeah,
so,
music's just more special than fucking fighting, bro.
So yeah, I'm like, I'm not a big fan of brain damage.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you might get 20 fights max before you concussed.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So you got to take it serious. You got to love it, and yeah, I grew up with violence, and it's not like I'd rather not. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Might as well channel it into something positive that you can actually, that is tangible, that you can go back to in 5 years and actually like listen to it and hear it. And, it's just a whole different thing as far as I'm concerned. So it's cool. I think the martial arts stuff is important as a discipline. But not needing to get your fucking head kicked in a fucking squared
100%.
circle for $7.
couple punters.
Yeah,
That's
exactly,
exactly
bro.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always handy to have though. Like you never know
Yeah.
when you might need it. Apparently, Adelaide's a fucking dangerous place.
I don't know where.
Well, I don't, maybe just because we're from the hood. So we don't really know. But
But nah,
maybe. I don't know.
I don't really.
I've heard.
Salisbury.
I've heard.
Salisbury?
Salisbury? Yeah.
We're from the dirty north.
Well,
so.
that's basically where
But,
we are
nah.
now. I'm in the city. This is the city of Salisbury. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where your show is at the Cranker, that place is fucking about, that little part of town is about as tame as fucking.
yeah.
You go over to like.
My sister started moved to Adelaide this year to start teaching, and she was like telling me about fucking the kids are involved with gang violence and shit, and it's like a preppy school or some shit. It's fucking
that wouldn't
wild.
surprise me.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise.
I thought
yeah.
that just happened everywhere.
Yeah, me
maybe,
too.
maybe we're thinking like,
Probably
yeah, because
does,
that's just
but,
fucking
like,
the norm.
Yeah.
I just didn't expect it from Adelaide.
Dude,
No,
because
no.
I've heard that Campbelltown's rough as guts.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
Oh
right.
yeah, no, that's fucking proper.
Yeah.
Like I was like concerned for my life catching the bus to school daily.
Wow.
Oh,
wow.
fuck. Yeah, it was not that bad in Salisbury. Fucking hell.
Is Campbelltown now like fucking Eshe Central? Is
Yeah,
that
that's what
Campbelltown
that's
is?
what I
It's
always
always
thought.
been Esther. That's where they
Fucking
were born.
Tied to
Yeah.
a
It's
Russ and my
basically
boy,
like,
Drink
it's like
West.
Campbelltown and Mount Druitt.
Mount
And
Druitt.
Liverpool.
What's that black?
There's a lot of
Is
bad
there one called
areas
Black
in
something?
Sydney.
Is there like Mount Black or something like a black
Blacktown.
Blacktown.
Yeah,
It's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Blacktown, Canterbury, Bankstown.
Just the whole.
There's a
western
lot of
side.
fucking shitholes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I
wow.
just happen to grow up in some of them.
Yeah. Yeah. And you don't live there now, though.
No, I moved close to the city for work. It's just easier than
Yeah.
traveling like an hour.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Absolutely.
Yep. All right,
All right,
I'm
question number
going to
4.
hit you with question number 4. This one's a bit of a left ball, right? What's one conspiracy theory that you believe in?
I don't know, hey. I kind of like never dived into that whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hit me with a conspiracy. I don't believe
Oh,
that.
God, we
Jesus.
could rattle off so many.
Okay.
The moon landing was fake. Fucking.
No. What about
It
9/11?
probably was.
about
They probably
9/11.
couldn't get up there. And then,
What-
like, we're definitely up there now. But, like,
Yeah.
at the time, they just wanted to say that they had beat Russia.
What's your
Yeah.
opinion on 9/11 then?
There you go. 9/11.
I don't know, because my, like, as a human, like, I would never, like, kill innocent people for the
Yeah.
sake of, like, you know, starting a war so I could get oil. But it wouldn't surprise me
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
it was a government job, like an inside job to start a war.
There's
I think
It
that's
seems
where
like something
everyone's
that
at
the
now.
Americans would do.
Yeah.
Everyone's at a point now where they're like, look, I don't want to believe that that's what it is,
Yeah,
but,
but that's what
fuck,
it-
I would not be like, oh,
There's
gasp,
just-
surprise.
Yeah, there's just
if-
so
Yeah.
much fucking
It's like the
evidence,
aliens.
bro.
When they started telling people that there was fucking aliens, everyone's like, yeah,
Yeah.
we kind of knew that.
Yeah, legit.
You haven't done the best job ever of covering
Yeah,
it up.
yeah,
That's what
yeah.
I'm trying to do.
Do you want to hit him with another one?
Yeah, all right. Question number, fuck knows what we're up to now.
It's 5,
What
I
is
think.
the best piece of advice you've ever been given?
Ooh. My granddad used to always tell me, if it's meant to be, it's up to me.
Oh,
Okay. I
fucking
like
so-
that. I
one,
like
dude.
that.
And like that's kind of like the mentality that I've taken with Harroway too. It's
Yep.
like, if this is gonna happen, you can't wait around for other people to make it happen for you. You have to do it. Like whatever it takes, you have to do it.
Yeah.
It's
It's
all
kind
on
of
you.
it's kind of like the opposite of like if it's meant to be, it's meant to be, which is like a very common one, but that's very like blasé, like, well, if it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen. Like you've got no control over it. Whereas this is like, no, if it's meant to be, it's up to me. Like
Yeah.
you're the driving force behind the outcome that you're looking for. So if you
Yeah.
want that, go and fucking get it.
100%.
Yeah, that's
That's
really
killer.
cool, man. I
That's
really
killer.
like that.
Well, I'm going to hit you with the second to last question, and then we'll have one more, and then we'll be dunzos. What are 3 things that you're grateful for today?
My amazing girlfriend.
Shout out.
Shout out Rebecca Williams. Woo!
Oh, give her the full name
Just
and
fucking
everything.
doxing her on the money on the pod.
Fuck. That's all right. He won't accept your fucking requests anyway.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Get a
She's already got this absolute hunk of man meat who can scream his ass off. She doesn't need your request.
and he knows Muay Thai.
And he knows more time.
Yeah.
And he's from
Oh,
Campbelltown.
Campbelltown.
Campbelltown. Fucking C-Town 2558, brother.
Ah, yes! Campbelltown, we don't fuck around.
Nah,
5114,
from the
baby.
fucking hood. Yeah, my family and that were fucking here to face another day.
Yeah,
Fantastic, man.
I really like that one, man.
Fantastic.
Really like that last one, absolutely,
Love it.
bro. We are here to face another fucking day, and it's wild, and we get to sit here and talk shit about stuff that we fucking love, like music, man. And
Yeah.
100%.
I just that's why we fucking love doing this podcast, like every one of these guest episodes.
Well, 2 years ago when we first started, or 3 years ago when we first started
Yeah.
this, we didn't think that we were going to get to have chats with so many cool people from all around Australia, and in bands that make fucking wicked music too. So like, I tell you
quick
what.
little side note on that topic, right? So obviously the podcast is called Wormholes. I don't know if you're familiar with the Volume song Wormholes, but that's
Yeah.
that's the reason for it. And even when we called it Wormholes, we didn't know this is what it was going to become. Well, Volumes put a post up a little while ago, and they're supposed to be touring Australia. And
Yeah.
I commented on the post, and I was like, when are we getting announced dates? And right at the time, Volumes, the page, liked the comment and then commented, we're trying to reschedule dates now. And then I replied to that and said, you've just made me the happiest man in the world. Well, I woke up this morning and Michael Barr has liked my post and the comment that I put afterwards, like we named our podcast Wormholes Podcast after you. So I just got these random, like, multiple notifications from Michael Barr this morning.
That's sick.
He's the OG fucking streamer as well.
That's sick. Fuck it up.
I was like, our goal is that, you know, eventually we will get Wormholes on the podcast. Volumes on the podcast. That's the full circle moment for us. So
it'd be so sick.
Them liking our comments, just planting the little seeds of us getting Volumes on the pod eventually. We're hoping.
I'm sure they'll come out eventually.
Well, they were supposed to be here. When was it? It was May last year, I reckon.
August, I think it was.
August last year. That's right. Yeah, and then the tour got scrapped, but like didn't get. Hasn't been refunded. So we're assuming that we're either going to get a refund.
It hasn't been refunded.
No. So because it was just supposed to be rescheduled, but it's now April.
I swear they like officially. Oh wait, no,
they didn't officially cancel it. They just
Oh no, I think they are. Yeah, they're coming back.
Yeah.
I think I got told something about this that I'm not allowed to say on this.
Yeah,
podcast,
well,
so.
someone, little birdie told me something about they're one of the supports on the rescheduled date. So yeah, I won't say more than that as well, but. Fucking fingers crossed, because they are top of my bucket list of bands that because they were here last time they were here was like 2014, and I reckon I got onto them like
that was with like Periphery or something, wasn't it?
Was it really? So, that would have been a sick show.
And I wasn't like fully on them at that point. Like, I just missed it. And then got into them fucking hell hard afterwards, and now they've obviously not been back. So
I reckon it would have been 2014, 2015 when I got into them. I heard like Edge of the Earth and then No Sleep as well.
So good, man.
Yeah,
so good.
Well, hit him with the final question.
All right, the final question of the questions: would you rather fight a horse-sized duck or 100 duck-sized horses, and why?
I've had a pet duck, and they're fucking mental. So a giant fucking duck doesn't sound fucking real good.
Yeah.
I feel like I could fuck up 100 duck-sized horses.
Yeah, just like Muay Thai fucking.
But if you're sitting here telling me that one duck,
don't try. No, fuck you.
Duck-sized duck.
This motherfucker's been having everyone pick the giant duck lately. Now, someone's finally coming back to the horse side. I feel like you could
definitely push over the giant-sized duck, but all it's going to take is like a fucking to the
one
face.
Peck of death.
Yeah, one big peck.
One big peck, and it's all over.
Fair enough.
Whereas the horses, they're going to have to assemble. They're going to have to fucking plan. They're going to have to articulate.
Like, what are they going to do? Chew my shoelace.
Yeah, exactly. And you're just going to be
basically
what's a duck
fucking spin kicking them through walls left, right, and center.
Yeah, but I can also just like really quickly build a fence.
Yeah. Wow. All right. Fortnite.
We haven't had any.
Man plays Fortnite.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Or alternatively, walk inside. Close the door. A giant horse-sized duck is going to break the glass.
Yeah, but these little tiny horses are just going to be neighing at the fucking door.
Yeah.
Doing little scratchies.
They're going to be waiting for you scratching at it.
Yeah, just fucking... Just cute, really.
Yeah, that would be pretty...
Not a threat. Well, man, Matthew, thank you so much for jumping on the podcast. We really appreciate it, and I'm super excited to see you down here in Adelaide. I'm really excited for everyone else getting to get their ear holes around this EP. It is, it's fucking mental, and there's a lot of really good sounds coming together on there. I think you guys are gonna fucking absolutely take off out the stratosphere when this one drops, and I'm proud to be a part of the Harroway Street team. So if you're listening to this, you've checked out the band, you want to be a part of the goodness, get into the street team as well. And man, I'm thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you so much for having me, guys. I really fucking appreciate it. Hopefully we do get to see you in Adelaide, but
yes,
you know, we definitely plan on being back down multiple times. So,
as I said, if everything goes to plan,
that stops playing Adelaide once we get too big because of ticket sales.
Yeah.
We still
sell, like, I mean, this is the thing. We often like when bands get big enough, we often sell out even sometimes before the other states. So like
Yeah.
Polaris will come down here. They sell out every single fucking time. Like, so we can sell pre-sales and sometimes quicker than other states. We just have to, you just have to
it's
build
just that groundswell.
You have to build that core following. We have enough people. We just are fickle and fucking, we make you come to us and impress us before we are wilding out with the pre-sales.
Speaking of core following, Matt, tell us where, or tell everybody where we can catch Harroway. So obviously you're on Spotify and whatnot, but what are your social handles?
That's a very good question. I think Facebook is just Harroway because we picked the name because there was no one else called Harroway. So Facebook is just Harroway. I think Instagram and TikTok, Harroway Music.
Yep.
And yeah, band, we're on fucking everything. Like, except Twitter. I haven't figured out Twitter yet.
Yeah, you don't really
I'm
need
not too sure how to navigate Reddit. We'll get there eventually, but I can only do so much.
Yeah,
Exactly, bro.
And
You're already
tweets.
hustling hell
I
hard.
don't think we've even got we got a Twitter?
No.
Nah, we
Someone
don't
was
have it.
telling us recently we should get back on there now that fucking
fucking Seb.
Musk is at the helm.
We've already got enough
Yep.
things to post, so
Exactly. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
already too hard.
exactly.
When
All
someone's
right.
got a producer doing all our shit for us and a shit
Yeah,
for us,
exactly. Then
same
we
for
have to
you
worry
guys
about
until
it, yeah.
When you're the man behind all the fucking hard work, you don't need to be posting to 12 places.
Yeah, that's it. That's why the fucking Instagram thing that's like, yep, post on this and this and this and this, like from one
Yeah.
thing is the best.
Oh yeah.
Fucking oath, man.
Yeah.
Well, all the best for the release on the 29th of April. Have I nailed that?
Fuck, I don't even know. I think
Come
it's
on,
28.
man.
He doesn't know it.
28. It's 8 days after Burn It All drops, which is on the 20th. So
Okay, so 28.
Fantastic.
All right,
28.
Cool.
28.
28th of April. Stream it in all streaming places.
Get it in it.
Get to
Yep.
the tour. Check out Harroway. They're going to be doing huge things. And thanks for jumping on.
Yeah,
again,
thanks for
man.
coming
Super
on, Matt. Appreciate it, man.
No, I appreciate you boys.
Thanks, man. Peace.
Legend. Peace out.